The way this project started was I went out on the road along the north-south axis of Highway 55. I tried to drive around the South looking for things that weren't necessarily beautiful and things that weren't necessarily anything that anyone else would stop and take a picture of, but things that somehow stopped me for a minute, and I pulled over and I explored it a little further. I kept editing these photographs, and every time I edited them, the photographs didn't really feel complete until I played music to them. And then I thought, well, why can't a book have its own soundtrack? And that's when the idea started, and that's when I thought of Blake Mills.
Sam just sent me a text out of the blue one day saying he'd like to talk about a project that would incorporate sort of scoring a collection of photos. And we sat down and I kind of presented it to him, and he immediately responded positively. You know, everything he was bringing up and proposing just sounded totally up my alley, and whatever reaction I had to the photos was what he wanted to capture. So I pictured this book where it would almost live in a musical world. It could live on a bookshelf with other photo books, but it could also live with your records. And I pictured the idea that you could take this book and slide a vinyl record out of the back of it, put it on your record player, pour yourself a drink and sit down, and you're in the mood to look at these pictures. What we did was we set up a projector. I had a guitar and a couple of instruments, looking at the photo and just kind of playing and seeing if what came out enhanced the mood of the photo or altered it or you know, just seemed to work. I got in there the first day and really hung around, and I said, look, I'm not going to come here every day. You got to figure it out, and I want to let you do your thing. I don't want to be the guy that says, well, maybe you should try this, because I love music, I love being in the studio, and it was very hard for me to stay away because it was such an amazing process. Blake's music adds a context to these photographs, much like a movie soundtrack does. In that way, that music did become a glue for the photographs. When you're driving through some of these areas, some of these countries, there are these roads, and you look out and it seems like there's no life in it. And if you got out of the car and walked 100 yards out there and you took a look around, all of a sudden that perspective changes and you notice that there's tons of life out there, and it's existing, you know, right there, right off the road.